Today, we've got a story for you that is just packed with drama. We're talking about cruelty, a deep mystery, and a twist of fate that is just unbelievable. It's all about an orphan, her cruel aunt, and a beggar who is not at all what he seems. So, let's just start with the central, really shocking question here. Why on earth would an aunt force her 18-year-old orphaned niece to marry a beggar off the street? Well, the answer to that starts with the young woman at the heart of this whole thing. Okay, so let's meet our main character, Zainab. She's 18, and she's an orphan. After her parents died, she had no choice but to go live with her uncle, Akram, and his family. And yeah, she had a roof over her head, but it was definitely not a home. Now, you've got these two cousins, Zainab and Aisha, same age, living in the same house, but their lives, polar opposites. For Zainab, life was basically being a servant. We're talking endless work from the moment she woke up till she went to sleep, all while living in this constant state of fear. Meanwhile, Aisha, the daughter of the house, had it made, kicking back, scrolling on her phone, and treating Zainab like her personal assistant. This threat? This was basically the soundtrack to Zainab's life. Her aunt, Shakila, was just this incredibly domineering and cruel woman. And this wasn't some one-off comment. Oh no. This was her go-to weapon, day in and day out, to keep Zainab scared and hungry. And you're probably wondering, right? Where's her uncle in all this? Well, Akram, he ran a little grocery shop. He was a kinder man, and he saw what was happening to his niece. He felt for her, he really did, but he was completely powerless. His wife, Shakila, was so sharp-tongued and just ran the whole house, so he never stood up for Zainab, leaving her totally alone. And that brings us to the moment that just blows everything wide open. An act of pure, impulsive cruelty right there at the front door that would change everybody's lives forever. So picture this. It's just a normal day, and there's a knock at the door. Outside, there's a young man in raggedy clothes, a beggar, just quietly asking for a little charity. Simple enough, right? But he was about to walk away with a lot more than a few coins. Shakila, just annoyed by the interruption and seeing Zainab nearby, says something absolutely horrifying. To the beggar, she says, "If you want something, take her." Just like that, offering up her niece like she was a piece of trash to be thrown out. Zainab is begging, pleading, but it's no use. Shakila literally grabs her, drags her out the door, and shoves her into the arms of this stunned beggar. Then, slam, the door closes behind her. Just like that, she's homeless, abandoned on the street with a total stranger. Her entire world just fell apart. Okay, but right here, when things look absolutely hopeless, the story takes a twist you will not see coming. Just when it feels like Zainab's fate is sealed, everything is about to get turned on its head. So this man, the beggar, he speaks to her gently, tells her not to be afraid. And as he leads her away, she's probably expecting the worst, some poor shack in a slum. But no, they arrive in front of this massive, beautiful mansion. And you can just imagine her confusion. A beggar lives here? None of this made any sense. I mean, Zainab is just standing there inside this incredible house, totally bewildered. Who on earth is this guy? And how could somebody dressed like that own a place like this? Well, it turns out his name is Shahzad, and he is no beggar, not even close. He's actually a highly trained undercover officer for the ISI, Pakistan's intelligence agency. The tattered clothes, the begging, it was all just a disguise for a secret mission he was on. So once his mission was over, Shahzad explained everything to Zainab. He told her about his real job, why he was in disguise, and that he had noticed her silent suffering. He hadn't just brought her here by chance. He told her he was ready to start a new life, and then he asked her to be his wife. And you know what? With a quiet smile, Zainab says yes. They get married in this big, beautiful ceremony, and just like that, her whole life changes. But as her new, happy life begins, the world she left behind starts to completely fall apart. And this timeline, wow, it just lays it all out in stark contrast. So Zainab finds love and happiness with Shahzad. Meanwhile, her family rushes to marry Aisha off, but it's to a cruel, abusive man. She gets divorced in no time and is left homeless. The shock of all this is too much for her father, Akram, who dies suddenly. And that leaves Shakila and Aisha with absolutely nothing, forcing them onto the streets to beg. Let's just dig into Aisha's fate for a second, because it's just tragic. Her new life was a complete nightmare. Her husband was awful, and her mother-in-law criticized every single thing she did. And the final straw? Get this. One day, she put a little too much salt in the food. That's it. Her husband flew into a rage, divorced her right there on the spot, and threw her out of the house with nothing. And the tragedy just kept piling on. The shock of Aisha's disastrous marriage, plus his own guilt over Zainab, it was too much for Akram's heart. He passed away. With the family's only provider gone, Shakila had to sell their little shop. But that money ran out fast, and before they knew it, she and her pampered daughter were completely destitute. So this all leads to the final powerful scene in our story. One day, Zainab and her husband Shahzad are out in the city living their happy life when the past comes back in the most unexpected way possible. They're walking along and Zainab just freezes. She sees two women sitting on the pavement, holding out bowls, begging. And with a jolt, she recognizes them. It's her Aunt Shakila and her cousin Aisha. The tables have completely, 100% turned. Shakila looks up, and you can just see the disbelief, then the shame wash over her face. In this trembling voice, she begs Zainab for forgiveness, admitting what a terrible, terrible mistake they made. And Zainab, she could have just walked away, right? Who would blame her? But she doesn't. She does something incredible. She looks at these two women who caused her so much pain and tells them that while they didn't deserve forgiveness, for the sake of God, she would forgive them. She puts some money in their bowl, but it's not an invitation to come live with her. It's more like closure. She's offering forgiveness, but she's not erasing what happened. And in that moment, as she turns and walks away with Shahzad, you just know she is finally truly free from that past. And so this whole story leaves us with this one big question to think about. You can call it karma, you can call it justice, whatever you want, but it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Does what we do to others, the good and the bad, always somehow find its way back to us?